Hi guys, Seamus here. Nice clean bench, ready for our next big build, which is going to be this part two of our search and rescue. This one here, so we're going to crack the box open, have a quick look at it. I did show it before, but we'll just have a wee quick look at it again. We did get this one finished. This will be go along with the search and rescue vessel here. Showed you a second ago. We've only put our wheels on this here, and that's it done more or less. But we've left our wheels off intentionally to see what way it's going to be positioned on the helipad. That's what they say to put it on that. We have some prototype shots of the kit itself. You let a P with this kit. It's a bottom, it's complete. It's quite big. I'll show you the hull in a second. What I do plan to do is obviously all the lighting's going to be on this here. Replace those with functional radar, which means I'll be putting a motor in it, top and bottom. As you can see, it's quite an involved kit with all your PE and so forth. It's a bigger shot of the mask. So it should be a fun build. Here's another look at the cabin itself. As I said in the previous video a while back, you do not get any interior structure whatsoever with this bridge area. It's completely bare. You can see right through it. There's a lot of windows and so forth. So what I have done is downloaded a file which will give me all my instruments that goes around the cab itself. There's another view of it. Watertight doors and so forth. As I said earlier, there's a lot of brass with it. That is the section I spoke of for a second ago. The bridge area before your cab goes on, completely bare. So that is the only downfall of this particular kit, I think, in my opinion. There's nothing really inside it to look at. I will be replacing these here with functional rotational searchlights. There's two at the front here, the bridge area. I'm not too sure there's any more in and around the vessel itself, but we'll have a look. And then we've got our water cannons. There's two of those, I believe, on the ship itself. Yeah, there's two. The back here. So let me get the camera set up here and we'll have a quick look what's in the box. So back in a second. So our hull works out about 64 centimeters roughly, which is one piece. That is the back I spoke of earlier. It's like a gate ramp sort of thing, comes down, and there's a smaller boat goes into it, which is another kit on its own included with it. You do get a stand with it, but it's not to my taste, so we're going to look into a different stand for it. Maybe brass pedestals for it. We'll see what happens when we come to that stage. But it's good that the hull comes in one piece rather than two halves. So this is a call out for your PE parts. We'll turn the overhead lighting off to stop the glare on the paper. All your brass parts here, we'll show you in a second. And that's all your locations where your parts have to go to. So all the steps, letters and so forth are all being replaced with PE. So the plastic parts in the kit aren't going to be used, obviously. So there's quite a bit in the PE side of it. So this is all your portholes, if you can call it that, bridge windows, other bits and pieces. It's scattered throughout the ship itself. I think this main part here, this car part goes on the outer part of the bridge. Then you have smaller pieces. I'm not too sure what these are just yet. I think these are brackets of some sort, supports. These are all your handrails for your steps and so forth. Watertight doors and other bits and bobs, as you can see here. If I can keep it in frame. The other one's slightly different, handrails and so forth. I'm not too sure what this is just yet. Might be something to do with a mask. We'll have a look in the instructions. These other parts I'm just going to keep in the bag. Like your stanchions, what you want to call them. Masks, wee bits and pieces. So we're just going to keep these all in the bag. Don't want those getting lost. I think there's a few of these screws in there as well. So just keep them in the bag. So the next part of the video is just going to be a breakdown in parts. Just a quick look, not in depth. So we've got our second part of the ship, which goes up into the hull, a smaller boat, which is a kit on its own. It's nicely detailed and so forth. Plus there's a lot of our bits and pieces that goes into that. This all one's just glass. We're just going to keep that in its bag so it doesn't get scraped or any scores on it. It seems clean enough. No fly center in it, from what I can see. This all one here is for the main ship itself, your propellers and so forth, handrails, parts of the bridge and so forth. And now we're moving into the bigger parts of the main ship itself. That's a bit I spoke of earlier. The smaller boat goes up inside the back end of the ship itself, up the stern. Main parts of the bridge again. I think it is a smaller boat, like a wee dinky at the bottom here. And that might be the ribs for it. This part runs along the main part of the ship itself, both sides. I think those are your water cannons. And this is your helipad. Now, you can't get a PE set for this, but it's hard to come by, and when you do find it, it's quite expensive. So we'll see what happens when we come to that stage whether I replace this with PE or not. As you can see, these are the bigger parts. One up two decks, and then we've got the start of our bridge area here. As I said earlier, you can see right through this once it's built up onto this section here, score section, and there's nothing whatsoever inside it. So those 3D prints that I have, if I get time, I'll probably put them into the video, a slideshow somewhere. Should make it more interesting. Now we're all getting into the nitty gritty side of it, all the smaller parts. That's your main mask, bit of flash here at the bottom, nothing major. We'll clean that up. Those are the searchlights, so there's four here. I will be replacing those with workable searchlights, which will turn on their axles sort of thing. These are rails and so forth, goes right about the ship. There's bow thrusters with the built-in props, or let them separate here. Another set of props. That's your letters, steps, should I say. They not be used at all. There's PE for those, so they not be getting used. Can't see any damage anywhere. Yeah, there is actually a bit of damage at the top here, but a wee bit of glue sort that out. Some fragile parts, like those railings and hand guards and so forth. This one here, they go upside of the ship. You've more handrails, again, they not be used. I think this is part of the crane, the hoist, just off center of the helipad itself. Then you've got all our smaller bits and pieces. Again, some clear plastic will keep this in its bag. That is off the smaller boat. So we'll just keep them in there, keep them clean, tidy. And then we'll have our decals. Pretty simple enough. Nothing complicated. And last we'll have our instructions. I'm not going to go through the whole bit, just a quick glance there. So I think there's 78 steps throughout the build. Again, there's the smaller boat, goes up inside the back of the hull, and your helipad. I think this swings down or opens out. I don't know what way it works just yet. It actually falls down the main door to allow the boat to go back up into the hull again. So there's a few things here that's marked out in the black which aren't going to be used. So imagine they're off another kit. I've seen different versions of this, smaller versions. So maybe they're off that particular kit. So the rails and so forth. For all my paint in, with all my lighting for it. The only thing I haven't got just yet is sorry, my prints. Have downloaded figures. They are around somewhere behind me here, but I will be downloading a few other ones in 72 scale. So we'll get a crack at this on Monday. That's the overall finished build. That's the smaller boat. So I want to stick in a couple of slideshows here of the 3D prints and we'll call it a day. So guys, thanks for watching. I know it was a bit of a long video, but that is what it is. Anyway guys, anyway, so talk to you all later. Bye.